Breakfast at Tiffany's is celebrated today as a cinematic classic, immortalized by Audrey Hepburn's iconic performance, The Unforgettable Moon River, and the chic allure of Manhattan in the early 1960s. However, behind the glamour and charm lies a production fraught with tension, creative conflicts, and logistical nightmares. The making of the film was far from the effortless elegance portrayed on screen. One of the primary sources of difficulty came from casting and personal clashes. Audrey Hepburn was chosen to play Holly Golightly, the eccentric socialite, a decision that stirred controversy. Some producers and industry insiders initially favored Marilyn Monroe, believing she could bring a more sensual edge to the role. While Hepburn's performance ultimately became legendary, the selection process caused friction among the creative team. On set, tensions arose between Hepburn and director Blake Edwards, particularly regarding Holly's mannerisms, voice, and comedic timing. Hepburn insisted on a certain refinement and delicacy in her performance, while Edwards often pushed for bolder, quirkier expressions to capture Holly's chaotic charm. These differences meant multiple takes of the same scenes, stretching shooting schedules and fraying nerves. George Peppard, who played Paul Varjak, also struggled with on-screen chemistry. Despite the final product showing a convincing romantic tension, the rehearsals and early takes revealed misaligned acting styles. This required patience from both the director and the cast, and occasionally led to frustration during long shooting days. Another major challenge involved the screenplay and censorship constraints. The original Truman Capote novella contained mature themes, including casual sexuality, prostitution, and drug use. Hollywood's production code of the era, however, strictly limited such depictions. Consequently, the script underwent multiple revisions to satisfy censors without diluting the story's essence. This tug-of-war between artistic vision and regulatory compliance caused constant delays and forced the creative team to rethink key narrative moments. Scenes that might have added depth or authenticity to Holly's character were either toned down or entirely removed, creating frustration among the writers, Edwards, and even Hepburn. On-location shooting in New York added another layer of complexity. Some scenes were scheduled outdoors, subjecting the cast and crew to unpredictable weather. For instance, the famous scene of Holly standing outside Tiffany and Company early in the morning required precise lighting and timing, yet shooting took hours due to fluctuating sunlight and logistical obstacles such as pedestrian traffic and street noise. Such conditions were physically taxing and slowed production considerably. Lastly, pressure from the studio intensified the stress. Paramount Pictures was determined that the film succeed both artistically and commercially. They closely monitored every aspect, from wardrobe and set design to pacing and scene coverage. This constant oversight increased tension on set, as Edwards had to balance his creative vision with the studio's expectations for a commercially viable hit. In short, while Breakfast at Tiffany's is remembered as a dazzling, stylish triumph, its production was riddled with conflict, compromises, and challenges. Casting controversies, clashing personalities, censorship struggles, difficult on-location shoots, and studio pressures all contributed to making the filming process a true nightmare behind the scenes. While Part 1 explored the broader challenges of Breakfast at Tiffany's, the production's behind-the-scenes drama ran much deeper, revealing a chaotic and often tense atmosphere that contrasted sharply with the film's polished final appearance. Many of the difficulties stemmed from personality clashes, creative disagreements, and the physical and emotional demands placed on the cast and crew. One of the most significant sources of tension was the relationship between Audrey Hepburn and director Blake Edwards. Hepburn was known for her meticulous approach to acting. She prepared extensively for each scene, carefully crafting her gestures, speech patterns, and expressions. Edwards, on the other hand, often relied on spontaneity and improvisation to capture authentic reactions. This fundamental difference in working styles frequently led to disagreements on set. For example, Edwards would sometimes encourage Hepburn to deliver lines in a more exaggerated, comedic fashion, which she resisted, insisting on maintaining Holly's delicate charm. These disputes could last for hours and occasionally led to multiple takes of the same scene, testing the patience of everyone involved. George Peppard, cast as Paul Varjak, experienced his own struggles with the role. Although he eventually delivered a compelling performance, Hepburn initially found it difficult to match Hepburn's energy and precision. On some days, the two leads would clash over the timing of lines and cues, which frustrated the crew and increased the number of takes. Reports suggest that during early rehearsals, the chemistry between Hepburn and Hepburn felt forced, requiring Edwards to experiment with different approaches, lighting, and camera angles to capture the desired dynamic. The screenplay and censorship issues added yet another layer of complexity. The Production Code Administration demanded extensive modifications to the story, particularly regarding Holly's ambiguous lifestyle. Scenes that hinted at prostitution or drug use were either rewritten or eliminated entirely. These constraints forced Edwards, screenwriter George Axelrod, and the team to become highly creative in conveying Holly's unconventional lifestyle while keeping the film within acceptable moral limits. The constant back and forth with censors led to frequent rewrites, often under tight deadlines, and contributed to a sense of ongoing frustration on set. On-location shooting in New York presented logistical nightmares. The famous opening scene of Holly standing outside Tiffany and Company, holding her coffee and croissant, was deceptively difficult to film. Crew members had to work around early morning traffic, pedestrians, and inconsistent lighting. Each take required precise coordination, and Hepburn had to maintain perfect posture, facial expression, and timing despite the cold weather and early hour. Similarly, scenes set in upscale apartments and bustling streets often involved large crews, intricate camera movements, and strict schedules, which heightened stress levels. Another source of tension involved Mickey Rooney, who played the role of Holly's intrusive neighbor, Mr. Yunioshi. Rooney's portrayal was highly controversial due to its exaggerated and offensive depiction of a Japanese character. On set, Rooney was reportedly difficult to work with, often overacting and clashing with both Hepburn and Edwards. His behavior sometimes disrupted the filming of scenes, forcing the director to intervene repeatedly to maintain control and coherence. Despite the many difficulties, some of the production challenges led to memorable and humorous moments. Hepburn's professionalism often contrasted with the chaotic energy of others, resulting in amusing anecdotes during downtime. For instance, long waits between takes due to weather or technical issues became opportunities for the cast to joke, play pranks, or improvise dialogue. These small moments of levity helped sustain morale, even when filming dragged on for hours. The music and post-production process also added pressure. Henry Mancini's iconic score, including Moon River, required careful synchronization with the scenes. Any changes in timing or performance on set could necessitate re-recording or re-editing musical cues. This attention to detail, while ensuring the film's enduring musical brilliance, extended the production timeline and added stress for both the director and composer. In conclusion, the making of Breakfast at Tiffany's was a high-stakes balancing act, combining demanding performances, clashing personalities, censorship restrictions, and challenging filming conditions. From the meticulous demands of Audrey Hepburn to George Hepburn's struggles with chemistry, Blake Edwards' creative compromises, and Mickey Rooney's controversial antics, nearly every aspect of production tested the patience and skill of everyone involved. Yet, despite, or perhaps because of, these difficulties, the film emerged as a polished, stylish, and enduring classic. The tension and chaos behind the scenes became invisible in the final product, leaving audiences with a cinematic gem that appears effortless, even though its creation was anything but. Beyond the well-documented clashes and challenges during filming, Breakfast at Tiffany's is also notable for a series of lesser-known behind-the-scenes stories that reveal the human side of Hollywood production in the early 1960s. These anecdotes illustrate not only the pressures the cast and crew faced but also the creativity, humor, and determination that helped transform a difficult shoot into a cultural landmark. One of the most famous aspects of the film is Audrey Hepburn's wardrobe, designed by Hubert de Givenchy. While the iconic black dress she wears in the opening scene is celebrated today as one of the most enduring symbols of style in cinema, creating it was far from easy. Hepburn was deeply involved in fittings and design decisions, insisting that the dress complement her movements, convey Holly's elegance, and allow her to navigate scenes comfortably. Multiple versions of the dress were made to account for lighting, camera angles, and action sequences. On one occasion, a dress fitting ran late into the night, causing Hepburn to miss part of a scheduled shoot, highlighting the delicate balance between costume perfection and production schedules. Another wardrobe challenge involved Holly's casual streetwear, particularly the oversized sweaters and capri pants she wears in several New York scenes. These costumes had to reflect Holly's quirky, carefree personality while remaining practical for long outdoor shoots. Wardrobe malfunctions occasionally occurred: loose buttons, slipping straps, and uncomfortable footwear, requiring quick adjustments from both Hepburn and the costume team. Despite these challenges, the clothing contributed significantly to the character's charm and helped establish a new standard of fashion influence from film. The production was also marked by creative improvisation on set. Blake Edwards often encouraged actors to play with dialogue or movement during takes, seeking spontaneity that would enhance authenticity. Audrey Hepburn reportedly improvised certain gestures and reactions, subtly enriching Holly's playful yet vulnerable persona. These improvisations, while valuable, could also disrupt planned sequences, leading to multiple retakes and further extending the shooting schedule. Similarly, George Peppard occasionally injected unscripted lines or reactions, which Edwards sometimes incorporated into the final cut, demonstrating the fluidity of creative collaboration amidst a tense environment. Supporting cast and crew anecdotes also add depth to the production story. Patricia Neal, initially considered for Holly's role, visited the set and commented on the intense scrutiny Hepburn faced, noting how every movement and expression was meticulously observed by both Edwards and the studio. Crew members recounted that early mornings, unpredictable weather, and crowded city streets tested their patience and stamina, but moments of humor, such as spontaneous pranks or playful exchanges between cast members, helped alleviate tension. These behind-the-scenes interactions contributed to a sense of camaraderie that ultimately helped the film succeed. Beyond production, the cultural impact of Breakfast at Tiffany's has been extraordinary. The film cemented Audrey Hepburn as a fashion icon and helped define modern standards of elegance and sophistication in cinema. The Moon River theme became synonymous with Hollywood romance, winning an Academy Award and enduring as a musical classic. Holly Golightly's character influenced generations of writers, filmmakers, and costume designers, creating a template for charming yet complex female protagonists in both film and literature. Moreover, the film's New York City settings helped romanticize the city on screen, transforming its streets, apartments, and cafes into aspirational symbols of urban sophistication. Tiffany & Company, previously a well-known jewelry brand, became an emblem of luxury and desire in popular culture. Despite the production's difficulties, the movie achieved a balance of style, humor, and narrative sophistication that resonated with audiences worldwide. However, the film's legacy is also complex. Mickey Rooney's controversial portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi remains widely criticized for racial insensitivity, highlighting how Hollywood's cultural norms in the 1960s could clash with contemporary values. Modern audiences and critics often discuss this aspect alongside the film's otherwise celebrated achievements, illustrating how Breakfast at Tiffany's is both a product of its time and a lasting cultural touchstone. In the end, the chaos, improvisation, and challenges behind the scenes of Breakfast at Tiffany's underscore the immense effort required to produce a work that appears effortless on screen. From wardrobe complications and improvised performances to the meticulous shaping of Holly Golightly's character, every difficulty was transformed into an element of charm and sophistication. The film's enduring influence on fashion, music, and cinematic storytelling demonstrates how creative perseverance can turn even a nightmare production into a masterpiece that resonates across generations. By the time Breakfast at Tiffany's wrapped, it was clear that the film's production had been an extraordinary test of patience, creativity, and collaboration. While parts 1 through 3 have explored the numerous challenges, from casting conflicts, censorship struggles, and on-location difficulties to wardrobe intricacies, improvisational risks, and behind-the-scenes anecdotes, this final part emphasizes the enduring lessons and the cultural legacy of one of Hollywood's most iconic films. One of the most striking lessons from the production is the importance of collaboration under pressure. Despite frequent clashes between Audrey Hepburn and director Blake Edwards, as well as tensions with George Peppard and other cast members, the film succeeded because the team ultimately found ways to balance creative visions with practical realities. Hepburn's meticulous attention to detail complemented Edwards' improvisational style, producing a Holly Golightly that was both delicate and unpredictable. Similarly, the supporting cast, despite occasional challenges, contributed moments of charm, humor, and authenticity that enriched the story. The film demonstrates that even when creative approaches conflict, collaboration and compromise can transform tension into artistic innovation. The story also highlights the impact of external constraints, notably censorship and studio oversight, on artistic production. Hollywood in the early 1960s was tightly bound by the production code, which required significant modifications to Truman Capote's original novella. Scenes involving adult themes, such as Holly's ambiguous lifestyle, were either rewritten or cut entirely. While these restrictions initially seemed limiting, they forced the creative team to become more inventive. Clever dialogue, subtle gestures, and visual symbolism allowed the filmmakers to convey complex ideas without overtly violating the code. In this sense, constraints paradoxically fueled creativity, demonstrating how challenges can inspire more nuanced storytelling. Another crucial aspect of the production was the importance of visual and musical design in shaping narrative impact. Hubert de Givenchy's costumes, particularly the iconic black dress, defined Holly Golightly's persona and set new standards for cinematic fashion. Meanwhile, Henry Mancini's Moon River added a lyrical, emotional dimension that remains inseparable from the character and the film itself. The careful integration of wardrobe, music, and cinematography ensured that each element enhanced the storytelling rather than merely serving as decoration. It is a reminder that attention to visual and auditory detail can elevate a film from a narrative to a fully immersive artistic experience. The film also exemplifies the role of perseverance in overcoming logistical challenges. Shooting on location in New York, managing unpredictable weather, coordinating large crews, and navigating early morning city streets were daunting tasks. Yet these challenges were met with determination and ingenuity, whether through multiple takes, creative staging, or improvisational problem-solving. Such resilience underlines the practical reality of filmmaking. Behind every effortless scene is often extensive labor, adaptation, and problem-solving. Culturally, Breakfast at Tiffany's has left a lasting imprint that extends far beyond the screen. Audrey Hepburn became a global fashion icon, Holly Golightly became a template for complex, charismatic female protagonists, and New York City itself was romanticized as a space of aspiration, sophistication, and possibility. Even controversial aspects, such as Mickey Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi, provide opportunities for reflection on evolving social and cultural norms, highlighting how art is both a product of its time and a lens for critical engagement. Finally, the film's enduring appeal is a testament to the power of turning adversity into timeless art. Every challenge, the creative conflicts, the logistical headaches, the censorship battles, ultimately contributed to the film's unique charm. Holly's blend of elegance, vulnerability, and spontaneity could not have emerged without the meticulous efforts, compromises, and innovations demanded by the production process. The story of Breakfast at Tiffany's reminds filmmakers, artists, and audiences alike that the beauty of cinema often emerges not from ease, but from the careful negotiation of complexity and constraint. In conclusion, the making of Breakfast at Tiffany's serves as a masterclass in resilience, collaboration, and creative problem-solving. From its tense and chaotic production to its polished and iconic final form, the film illustrates that artistic triumphs often arise from adversity. The lessons it offers, balancing vision with practicality, using constraints to fuel creativity, valuing collaboration, and persevering through challenges, remain relevant to filmmakers and creatives today. Most importantly, it shows that even the most difficult productions can produce works of lasting beauty, cultural significance, and emotional resonance. Breakfast at Tiffany's stands as a reminder that behind every cinematic classic lies a story of effort, tension, and ingenuity, proving that true artistry is forged as much in struggle as in inspiration. Even decades after its release, Breakfast at Tiffany's continues to inspire admiration, critique, and debate, demonstrating that the film's influence extends far beyond its initial reception. While parts 1 through 4 have examined the production difficulties, creative compromises, and cultural impact, Part 5 explores more controversial aspects of the film, how modern audiences reinterpret it, and the lessons contemporary filmmakers can learn from its legacy. One of the most discussed controversies involves Mickey Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi. Today, the character is widely criticized for relying on racial stereotypes, including exaggerated prosthetics, buck teeth, and a caricatured Japanese accent. Even at the time, some cast and crew reportedly found Rooney's approach problematic, but the studio encouraged it, believing audiences would respond to the comic exaggeration. Modern critics view this aspect as a stark reminder of Hollywood's casual approach to racial representation in the early 1960s, highlighting the social and ethical progress still required in filmmaking. This controversy has prompted discussions about how classic films can be appreciated while simultaneously acknowledging problematic elements, emphasizing the importance of context and critical engagement when evaluating historical works. Another interesting modern reinterpretation concerns Holly Golightly herself. While Holly is celebrated as a symbol of style, independence, and charisma, contemporary viewers often note the character's complexity and moral ambiguity. Her flirtatious, carefree lifestyle, reliance on wealthy men, and ambivalent approach to relationships can be read through multiple lenses, as a critique of societal constraints on women, as a depiction of survival within a male-dominated social hierarchy, or as a romanticized fantasy of autonomy. These layered interpretations illustrate how timeless characters can be re-examined in light of evolving social values, allowing new audiences to engage with the material in nuanced ways while still appreciating its artistic achievements. The film also provides insights into production strategies that remain relevant today. Despite the challenges of on-location shooting, strict censorship, and interpersonal conflicts, the creative team's commitment to meticulous planning and improvisation ensured a coherent and engaging final product. Modern filmmakers can draw lessons from this approach, understanding that flexibility and adaptability are critical in navigating unpredictable circumstances, whether due to actor dynamics, weather, or logistical constraints. Additionally, Breakfast at Tiffany's demonstrates the value of detailed attention to costume, music, and set design. Each element of Holly's world, from Da Vinci's fashion to Henry Mancini's score, was carefully orchestrated to enhance the story, showing that cinematic cohesion relies on a holistic vision rather than isolated creative decisions. The film also underscores the importance of balancing artistic ambition with commercial considerations. Paramount Pictures demanded a product that would appeal to mass audiences while retaining sophistication and narrative depth. The resulting tension forced Edwards, Hepburn, and the writers to find a delicate equilibrium between artistic expression and audience accessibility. Today, this lesson resonates with filmmakers navigating similar pressures, the need to maintain creative integrity while producing content that is commercially viable. Beyond production, Breakfast at Tiffany's has inspired countless homages, parodies, and cultural references. From fashion magazines celebrating the little black dress to musicians covering Moon River, the film's influence permeates multiple media. Designers, stylists, and filmmakers continue to study Hepburn's performance, the wardrobe choices, and the interplay between character and setting, demonstrating the film's ongoing relevance as a cultural touchstone. These enduring echoes of the film illustrate how cinematic works can transcend their era, influencing style, art, and storytelling across decades. Finally, the story behind Breakfast at Tiffany's offers a broader lesson about turning adversity into innovation. Every challenge, whether creative, logistical, or interpersonal, was ultimately transformed into a defining element of the film's identity. Holly's charm, the film's stylistic elegance, and the seamless integration of music and visuals all emerged from a production fraught with obstacles. This principle remains vital for modern creators. The pressures of filmmaking, when approached with creativity and perseverance, can yield results that exceed initial expectations. In conclusion, Breakfast at Tiffany's is not only a cinematic classic but also a rich case study in the complexities of filmmaking. Its controversies, reinterpretations, and behind-the-scenes struggles reveal the multifaceted nature of creating art under constraint. From Rooney's problematic performance to Holly Golightly's layered character, from meticulous costume design to innovative problem-solving on set, the film embodies both the brilliance and the tensions inherent in cinematic production. For modern audiences and filmmakers alike, it offers a compelling reminder that the interplay of challenge, creativity, and critical reflection can produce works that endure, resonate, and continue to spark conversation decades after their creation. Breakfast at Tiffany's continues to resonate nearly 7 decades after its release, not only as a cinematic achievement but also as a cultural touchstone that has shaped fashion, film, and popular perceptions of urban sophistication. Part 6 explores the enduring influence of the film, examining how it continues to inspire creators, audiences, and cultural commentators, while also offering lessons for future filmmakers about balancing artistry, innovation, and social awareness. One of the most obvious areas of influence is fashion. Audrey Hepburn's portrayal of Holly Golightly, particularly her iconic Givenchy black dress, oversized sunglasses, and elegant updo, has become a template for timeless style. Designers and stylists frequently cite the film as a reference point, emphasizing its combination of simplicity, elegance, and playful charm. Beyond the black dress, Holly's casual ensembles, oversized sweaters, capri pants, and loafers, helped define a chic, approachable street style that remains relevant today. Modern designers continue to reinterpret these looks, demonstrating how cinematic costumes can transcend their narrative context to influence real-world fashion trends for generations. In film and television, Breakfast at Tiffany's has left a significant mark on character development, narrative structure, and urban storytelling. Holly Golightly represents a type of female protagonist who is simultaneously complex, whimsical, and morally ambiguous. This archetype has influenced countless films and television shows, inspiring characters who balance vulnerability with independence, charm with unpredictability. Moreover, the film's use of New York City as a character in itself, the streets, apartments, and cafes as spaces of aspiration and identity, has become a model for urban storytelling. Directors continue to study how the city interacts with character, plot, and mood, recognizing the film's pioneering approach to blending setting with narrative. Music is another area where the film's impact is evident. Henry Mancini's Moon River has become an enduring standard, covered by artists across decades and genres. Its integration into the narrative demonstrates the power of music to reinforce character, emotion, and atmosphere. Filmmakers today continue to draw inspiration from the seamless way in which Breakfast at Tiffany's marries score and story, recognizing the potential for music to elevate cinematic storytelling beyond the visual plane. The film's cultural influence extends beyond fashion and filmmaking. Tiffany & Company, for instance, transformed from a respected luxury brand to an aspirational symbol of romance and sophistication, largely due to its association with Holly Golightly. Similarly, New York City itself gained a mythic quality in the global imagination, portrayed as a space where charm, ambition, and possibility converge. These cultural impacts underscore the broader phenomenon of cinema shaping public perception, demonstrating that films can influence both aesthetics and social ideals long after their initial release. However, Breakfast at Tiffany's also offers important lessons about cultural sensitivity and evolving social norms. Mickey Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi remains a contentious point, reminding contemporary filmmakers that creative decisions, even in the name of humor, can have lasting negative consequences. Modern audiences are more attuned to representation, diversity, and the impact of stereotypes, and revisiting this aspect of the film provides a critical opportunity for reflection on how societal norms have evolved. For future creators, the lesson is clear: attention to social context, ethical representation, and inclusivity is essential for producing work that is both impactful and responsible. Another enduring lesson concerns the integration of creativity and practical problem-solving. From wardrobe to cinematography, from music to location logistics, every element of the film required careful planning and adaptive thinking. Future filmmakers can learn from the perseverance demonstrated by Edwards, Hepburn, Mancini, and the entire crew, even productions fraught with tension, conflicting personalities, or external constraints can yield iconic results when managed with skill, vision, and determination. Finally, Breakfast at Tiffany's illustrates the lasting power of storytelling that balances charm with complexity. Holly Golightly's nuanced character, the interplay of humor and romance, and the subtle social commentary embedded in the narrative ensure that the film remains compelling to new audiences. Its combination of style, emotion, and thematic depth demonstrates that timeless works emerge not merely from technical skill, but from an ability to engage, challenge, and captivate viewers on multiple levels. In conclusion, Breakfast at Tiffany's is far more than a historical artifact, it is a blueprint for enduring influence. Its contributions to fashion, cinema, and popular culture continue to inspire creators, while its production story offers lessons in collaboration, perseverance, and innovation. At the same time, its controversies serve as a reminder of the importance of ethical awareness and cultural sensitivity. For contemporary filmmakers, designers, and artists, the legacy of Breakfast at Tiffany's underscores a simple but profound truth: artistic greatness often arises from the careful negotiation of complexity, adversity, and creativity, resulting in work that resonates for generations. As Breakfast at Tiffany's continues to captivate audiences more than 60 years after its release, its legacy offers valuable insights into both the art of filmmaking and the evolution of cultural sensibilities. Beyond its glamour, charm, and iconic performances, the film exemplifies how creative perseverance, collaboration, and innovation can transform a challenging production into a timeless classic. One of the central lessons of the film lies in turning adversity into artistic strength. The production was beset with challenges, casting disagreements, creative clashes between Audrey Hepburn and Blake Edwards, censorship limitations, and the logistical difficulties of shooting on location in New York City. Yet these obstacles became opportunities to refine the story, enhance character nuance, and heighten visual and musical impact. Holly Golightly's delicate balance of whimsy and vulnerability, the iconic wardrobe designed by Hubert de Givenchy, and Henry Mancini's evocative Moon River all emerged from this intensive process. For modern filmmakers, this demonstrates the importance of embracing challenges as catalysts for innovation rather than viewing them solely as setbacks. The film also underscores the importance of holistic storytelling. Every element, costume, set design, music, lighting, and performance, was carefully orchestrated to support narrative and character development. This meticulous attention to detail ensured that even minor visual cues or musical motifs enhanced the audience's understanding of Holly's character and emotional journey. Contemporary creators can draw from this approach, recognizing that a cohesive artistic vision often arises from the careful integration of multiple creative disciplines. At the same time, Breakfast at Tiffany's highlights the responsibility of filmmakers to consider cultural and ethical contexts. Mickey Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi is widely criticized today for its reliance on offensive stereotypes, illustrating that decisions intended as comic relief can have lasting negative consequences. This serves as a reminder that artistic expression exists within a broader social framework, and creators must be aware of evolving norms and the potential impact of their work on diverse audiences. The film's enduring appeal also reflects its ability to combine charm with complexity. Holly Golightly is both aspirational and relatable. Her independence, social savvy, and personal vulnerabilities make her character resonate across generations. Similarly, the film's depiction of New York City captures the excitement, ambition, and romance of urban life, elevating the setting to a character in its own right. These qualities have ensured the film's continued relevance, influencing fashion, urban storytelling, and character archetypes in cinema and popular culture. Ultimately, Breakfast at Tiffany's serves as a case study in the power of perseverance, collaboration, and vision. Its production demonstrates that even films marked by tension, creative disputes, and logistical challenges can achieve timeless impact when guided by committed, imaginative artists. For future filmmakers, designers, and storytellers, the film provides lessons in balancing creative ambition with practical constraints, respecting cultural sensibilities, and crafting narratives that combine style, depth, and emotional resonance. In conclusion, the legacy of Breakfast at Tiffany's endures not only in its visual elegance and memorable performances but also in the production story itself. It is a testament to the transformative potential of cinema, showing that artistic brilliance often arises from navigating adversity, integrating diverse creative elements, and remaining attuned to both audience expectations and cultural context. The film remains a model of how challenges behind the scenes can result in cultural triumphs that continue to inspire, entertain, and provoke reflection decades later.